Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Today, we're going to talk about 1099 compliance, as well as a great tool to manage 1099 compliance, which is Tax 1099. With us today, we have Ed Pratt, the Vice President of Business Development at Tax 1099, as well as our Director of Tax here at HPC. I am Matt Nyman. I am our Client Success Manager here at HPC, and I'm the host of our webinar. So let's just jump right into it here. So a little bit about HPC. We're a full service cloud accounting firm specializing in taxes, CFO and growth advice, and Xero accounting software. We're actually a virtual firm in 16 states, and we've been around for 24 years, but we're totally cloud-based, and we're working with actually a lot of global companies starting in the US, which is why we have a second website here for HPC Go Global, which has some great resources, including this webinar posting when we get through here. So just a quick disclaimer, we are going to cover a little bit of tax and compliance advice, but everyone's situation is different, so definitely want to reach out to a tax advisor to get some advice on your particular circumstances. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and hand it right over to Laura to talk a little bit about 1099 compliance.
Thanks, Matt. The reason that we decided we wanted to spend a little bit of time of talking about 1099s is not only because they're due at the end of January this year, which is kind of a big change for people, but there's been another change that's happened as it relates to the reporting about 1099s. So for many, many years, you've always had to file a 1099, and the IRS was interested in you doing that. But over the last few years, they've actually changed their interest level so much to the point that they've added now questions on your income tax return about whether, one, you're required to send out 1099s, and two, did you comply with that? And it is pretty unusual for a company to have a situation where through a whole year, they didn't have one person that they paid at least $600 to, or paid legal services to, or paid a rent for. So almost everybody is required to file. And because they've added that second question, which says, and did you file, which of course they will know very quickly whether or not you filed, we've really wanted to kind of raise the awareness about how important it is to pay attention to what is considered an information return, because it is just a return that kind of shares the information of what you've paid and who you've paid it to. It doesn't have necessarily a tax component to it, but it's very important that it gets timely filed. And that's why we're so thrilled to be partnering with Tax 1099, because they're making this process so much easier for our clients and for us who's filing this for many of our clients. So I know Ed is going to talk some more about the requirements and how to do that, but I just really want clients to and folks listening to pay attention to the fact that you really need to do this, and it has to be answered on your income tax return.
Great, thanks, Laura. And just for future reference, you can come back and view this slide, but this talks about some of the penalties for late filings on 1099s, and we are going to distribute these slides. So now we'll let Ed talk a little bit about Tax 1099 and how that can help you file 1099s on time.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, so Tax 1099 is one of our software offerings under our ZenWork company label. And we've been doing the 1099 filing along with other forms, W-2s, 1042Ss, and a whole series of 1099 forms themselves for several years now. I think we did our first filings in 2010. So we've built a kind of a broad experience in working with the IRS and then also working with a lot of our clients, just learning over the years, working with small businesses, working with bookkeepers and accountants, and moving into larger accounting firms like HPC and even larger there as well. Basically offering a tool that allows those filers to easily access their 1099 information, bringing it in from a software like Xero or Bill.com, and excuse me, enabling them to bring that 1099 data over in a more seamless manner and be in compliance. To Laura's point, there is a big compliance component that is important, and we can make that easier for the clients through our integration with Xero or Bill.com, or make it easier for a firm like HPC to support their clients. Then everyone wins in that case. They're in compliance and they're getting their work done a bit more easily. Just some of the services that we offer are listed here. So we do e-file, and we get this question all the time from people who maybe have done e-filing themselves in the past. They've been in a larger corporation, or they've been reading up on the regulations and they're concerned about having to obtain their own transmitter control code. We do the e-filing for you. So part of our service offering is that we will take your information, we will provide it to the IRS. We also provide it to states who require filing. So some states, Pennsylvania, Oregon, and a couple of others require some specific direct filing. We do that filing for them, as well as the federal state filing. So we basically take care of all of that e-file component for you. We can also notify your recipients by mail, email. We have a portal tool that people can use as well. You can come along later and do a corrected filing, even if you didn't originally file a form with us. Maybe you did a paper filing and you just discovered that one of them was wrong and you no longer have the paper form, you no longer have the 1096. So we can do those and go back a couple of years as well if you needed that as well. And then reprints are available. All of that is just kind of wrapped into the software. One thing that people often don't think about, we get a lot of requests at the end of the year as people are doing their 1099 filing, but there is a significant component of this that is data collection on the front part. You really need to be collecting a W-9. You really need to be validating the information on that W-9 for the 10 match. These are both things that the IRS either requires or suggests. And before you pay someone, you want to make sure you have that W-9. You want to make sure the information is correct. To Matt's point earlier about the penalties for delayed filings, there are other penalties for incorrect filings that pretty much match up on the same scale there that Matt had on the slide. So we help protect you from some of those, making sure that you've got your information correct and all entered seamlessly delivered from Xero or Bill.com and populated into Tax1099 so that we can manage the rest of that process for you.
Awesome, thanks, Ed. And to Ed's point too, working with a cloud-based accounting firm and tools like Xero for your accounting, it can really help have some processes in place where you're collecting W-9s and the right information from folks before you pay them, and then it doesn't become a shuffle at the end of the year to try to get 1099s filed. So for a little bit more information on Tax 1099, you can definitely reach out to Ed. And for more information on HPC and how we can help manage your back office throughout the year and some of your other year-end compliance, you can certainly reach out to us here at HPC. And that's it.